Sacramento Metro Real Estate Market. J. Emerson, Broker, DRE number 1788488. Sacramento County, Market Update. Data is through December 31, 2025. Emerson Real Estate. Real Estate Market Forces Model. The real estate market involves many participants. The heart of the market are buyers and sellers. The market is affected by many forces. All forces cannot be identified practically. The three most important words in real estate: timing, psychology, location. Fear and greed are forces in psychology. And now the results of the forces this month in Sacramento County. Demand index minus, supply index plus, percent off median price high equals, sweat index, where demand index equals, pended, year over year, plus, sold, year over year. Supply index equals, new, year over year, plus, active, year over year. The intent is to calculate the current market dynamics. A negative index is, negative. Optimum sweat for a zip code is in the range of +30 to -30. Buyers are favored when the sweat index is negative. Demand index equals, -22%. Favoring buyers. Sold, listing index, is, -10%. Pended, listing index, is, -12%. Supply index equals, +21%. Favoring buyers. New, listing index, is, +8%. Active, listing index, is, +13%. Sweat index equals, -51%. Favoring buyers. 51% of 146 months are inside the rest area. Last high was 119% in April 2021. Last low was -122% in November 2022. Definitions. New house was exposed as a listing during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. Pended, listing went pending during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, mine's next. Cancelled, listing was cancelled or expired during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, sellers are nervous. Sold, listing was sold during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, encouraged. Active, listing is available at the end of this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. Cumulative days on market, total number of days listing is active before going pending and selling. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, market aging. Inventory summary. Active listings equals 1,296, -30%, month over month, +13%, year over year. Sold listings equals 765, -5%, month over month, -10%, year over year. New listings equals 614, -22%, month over month, +8%, year over year. Pended listings equals 633, -19%, month over month, -12%, year over year. Cancelled listings equals 249. Minus 11%, month over month. Plus 55%, year over year. Sweat index, equals, minus 51%. Favoring buyers. Details. Page 1. Data elements gathered and derived. This month. How it compares to average, high, and low. 52. Zip codes. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Supply and demand. Lean score. Created to measure activity in each phase of a listing. Phases: new listing, active listing, pended listing, sold listing, canceled listing, and cumulative days on market. Cumulative days on market is the total number of days required to sell the listing. The variance between the current value of each data element and its short and long-term averages are calculated. A positive lean value leans toward seller, and negative value leans toward buyer, for a data item will be interpreted in different ways for each data element. The intent is to show who is favored, in the current market, based on the data. Lean score. Each phase of a listing represents supply or demand. Lean score equals 12-year lean plus 26-year lean. When the phase lean score is greater than 0, it has a seller lean. When the phase lean score is less than 0, it has a buyer lean. When the phase lean score is 0, a neutral signal. Lean score equals 0.4. Leaning toward sellers. 3. Lean toward sellers. 3. Lean toward buyers. Months of inventory, fewer than 4 months, a seller's market, between 4 to 6 months, a balanced or neutral market, greater than 6 months, buyer's market. Equals 1.7. Favoring sellers. 1,296, active. 765, sold. Minus 26%, month over month. Plus 25%, year over year. Last high was 3.2 in January 2015. Last low was 0.6 in December 2021. Market Activity Index. Created to compare zip codes regardless of time and money, uses calculations of sold, pended, new, active, canceled listings and number of offers. Supply and demand. Maximum is 100. Minimum is 0. Sellers are preferred in a market whose index is greater than or equal to 30. Market Activity Index equals 23. Favoring buyers. Minus 17%, month over month. Minus 15%, year over year. Last high was 100 in April 2021. Last low was 21 in January 2023. Which is 63% of its 12-year December average of 37 12-year December low. New house was exposed as a listing during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. New listings equals 614. Minus 22%, month over month, plus 8%, year over year. Last high was 2,558 in May 2018. Last low was 507 in December 2023, which is 77% of its 12-year December average of 800. New listing index equals plus 8%. Last high was plus 33% in January 2014. Last low was minus 46% in March 2023. Pended listing went pending during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, mine's next. Pended listings equals 633, minus 19%, month over month, minus 12%, year over year. Last high was 1,755 in May 2017. Last low was 593 in December 2022, which is 75% of its 12-year December average of 839. Pended listing index equals minus 12%. Last high was plus 54% in April 2021. Last low was minus 45% in November 2022. Appetite equals pended listings divided by new listings. Fresh demand over fresh supply. Overarching assumption is that the listings that are counted as new are also pended. Housing appetite equals 103%, 633, pended, 614, new, plus 4%, month over month, minus 18%, year over year. Last high was 126% in December 2024. Last low was 56% in June 2022, which is 97% of its 12-year December average of 106%. Cancelled listing was cancelled or expired during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, sellers are nervous. Cancelled listings equals 249, minus 11%, month over month, plus 55%, year over year. Last high was 727 in October 2014. Last low was 76 in February 2021, which is 81% of its 12-year December average of 308. Cancelled listing index equals plus 55%. Last high was 118% in October 2022. Last low was minus 57% in December 2015. Sold listing was sold during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, encouraged. Sold listings equals 765, minus 5%, month over month, minus 10%, year over year. Last high was 1,742 in June 2017. Last low was 550 in January 2023. which is 66% of its 12-year December average of 1,165. Sold listing index equals minus 10%. Last high was plus 53% in April 2021. Last low was minus 46% in November 2022. Number of offers equals 1,387. Minus 22% month over month. Minus 22% year over year. Last high was 9,318 in April 2021. Last low was 791 in January 2014, which is 56% of its 12-year December average of 2,477. Offers per sold listing equals 1.8, minus 17% month over month, minus 14% year over year. High of 6.1, average number of offers per sold listing in April 2021. Offers index equals minus 22%. Sold listing index equals minus 10%. Last high was plus 423% in April 2017. Last low was minus 69% in January 2023. Active listing is available at the end of this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. Active listings equals 1,296, minus 30% month over month, plus 13% year over year. Last high was 3,680 in August 2014. Last low was 753 in March 2023, which is 80% of its 12-year December average of 1,627. Inventory index equals plus 13%. Last high was plus 67% in May 2024. Last low was minus 59% in July 2023. Housing absorption. Absorption simply represents how inventory is absorbed given this month's active listings and last month's sold listings. This calculation is the inverse of months of inventory. Sold over active. Active over sold. Housing absorption equals 59%. 765 sold. 1,296 active. Plus 34% month over month. Minus 20% year over year. Last high was 161% in December 2021. Last low was 31% in January 2015, which is 73% of its 12-year December average of 81%. Cumulative days on market, total number of days listing is active before going pending and selling. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, market aging. Cumulative days on market equals 51, plus 11% month over month, plus 31% year over year. Last high was 56 in January 2015. Last low was 11 in May 2021, which is 140% of its 12-year December average of 36, 12-year December high. Median price equals $530,000, minus 1%, month over month, minus 3%, year over year. Median price 12-month moving average equals $545,000, no change, month over month, minus 1%, year over year. Median price momentum equals minus 0.7, minus 0.4, last month, plus 3.4, last year, minus 8%, off its last high of $575,000 in May 2022, plus 112%, off its 12-year low of $250,000 in January 2014. Describing volume. 1 sale. Sold price times number of offers equals total offered. Assuming all offers received were the same price, minus sold price equals excess volume. Unrequited demand. Total offered equals 774 million. Sold volume equals 410 million. Excess volume equals 364 million. Last high offered was 4.6 billion, with a B, in April 2021. Last low was 265 million, in December 2013. Multiple offers. $1 million, sold volume. 41 offers for 3 listings. $13 million, total offered. $12 million, unrequited demand.
By the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals.